Hey y'all, I'm Cindy. Welcome to Cindy Hart's Crochet Podcast, where we talk about crochet and crochet accessories. Today is Thursday, November 6th, 2025. It is about 10:30 a.m. here in Cottonwood, Alabama, and you can see that I am in my most favorite place in the world, and that is here with my daughter and son-in-law. Have been down here a few days. The week didn't go as planned, but everybody's okay. We did have a little health medical issue going on there for the first few days, but I think everybody's going to be okay. But your prayers would be mostly appreciated, greatly appreciated, not mostly, all the way appreciated. So anyway, I did want to come on here today and show you the blanket that I have finished while I was down here. It was a commission by one of Renee's friends and previous where she used to live over in Bainbridge, Georgia, and she had asked me to complete a kit that she had bought from Herrschner's, and I believe it's Herrschner's, and but she wasn't going to have time due to some family health issues herself. So she sent me the kit, and asked me to finish that for her. And I did finish it while I was down here. That was my main goal down here, was to finish that blanket so that I could send it or take it to over to Bainbridge, Georgia, which is just a straight shot from here, and save on some shipping maybe, or at least mail it from here and save half my mailing price, if that makes sense. And I know I've got some flashing lighting going on in the background. Yes, I have on the same shirt, different day. It's just one of my favorite shirts, and I think I've told y'all before, I've only got about 3 or 4 that I wear outside of work, and this happens to be one of them, especially around the house. So I have dimmed the blinds a bit, so I'm hoping that flashing will stop. But I know you're here to see the crochet, so let me show you that. The project that I have been working on, and I may even get into another project if this one doesn't take too long. I also have a hook review of sorts along with this blanket pattern. So the blanket pattern is Grandioso Guitar. Let's see. Grandioso Guitar Blanket. And this goes along with, Laura did the Cat's Meow, and I have the pattern to do Dog Days that Laura from Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming gifted me. And I started it, but it has an odd stitch in it that I'm not used to making, and it takes a little extra yarn and time and brain power that I haven't had up until this point. So the pattern is by Sweet Potato 3, and the patterns I have seen were on Ravelry. I will put links below to wherever I can find that, as well as a website if she has one. So the original pattern, this pattern, the kit that came from Herrschner's came with 3 cakes of Red Heart Roll With It melange in the colorway Paparazzi. So that's this one. I don't have my glass. Oh yeah, I do. I've got glasses, but I should be able. I'm trying to be able to read it. This is a number 4 medium. Number 4 medium. Each cake, it is caked up. 100% acrylic, 5.29 ounces, 150 grams, 389 yards, 356 meters. And it recommends a I9 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, or a US 8 5 millimeter knitting needle. It can be washed and dried, of course. No ironing, or I don't know what that other sign is. Let's see. Machine wash warm, gentle cycle, tumble dry low, do not over dry, do not iron, do not bleach. Okay, so they sent 3 rolls of this, no, four cakes of this, as well as, my dog is going crazy in there. I'm not sure what's up with her. 4 rolls of that, as well as only 2 skeins of Karen Simply Soft. Karen Simply Soft in white. The Karen Simply Soft is number 4 medium, also requiring or suggesting a 5mm knitting needle or a 5mm crochet hook. So it's 100% acrylic. Each skein is 315 yards, 288 meters, 6 ounces, 170.1 grams. Now, they only sent 2 rolls of this Karen Simply Soft, and about 6, I had plenty of the roll with it melange. Hold on a second. Okay, just had to settle her down a little bit. So they only sent 2 skeins of the Karen Simply Soft in white. Now, about 6 or 7 rows to the end, I ran out of this. There was plenty of the roll with it melange. And I think I only used 3 and about a quarter of the cakes of the melange, which would be about, what? Probably, I'm going to estimate maybe 1,200 yards of the melange, which I never imagined this thing using as much yarn as it did to be as small as it is. Although I think the stitch that is used in that is a yarn hog. It's the only thing I can figure, because 1,200 yards alone, I could do a blanket larger than this. It doesn't take that much to do like one of the baby blankets that I've been doing. But anyway, so there was 3, it used about 3 1/4, which was about 1,200 yards of the roll with it melange, and then used about 2 1/2, about 2 1/4. Well, like I said, I only needed 7 rows of the white, so 2 plus those last 7 rows, however much that took. And it really, I didn't bring the skein in here so you could see exactly what was used out of it. But I have never had a Herrschner's pattern that ran out of yarn, ever. I really hadn't had that many kits, but in the few kits I have had, there's been extra yarn, actually. So, that being said, I haven't even added up the yardage on that, so it was, as you can tell in the picture, the dark side, which is the melange, is a larger area. So it did cover more. So it was about 1,200 in the melange, and about, how much did I say was in this one? So each one of these has, excuse me, 315 yards, so that's going to be 630, and maybe, I'm going to say about 700 yards in the Karen Simply Soft and White. But it is called the Grandioso Guitar Blanket. Now, I did learn a couple of new stitches on this. I have always had a problem with the foundation. I've never been able to get the foundation crochet stitches, where you do, instead of, I always do a chain and go back, but I learned how to do the foundation half double crochet here, not necessarily on the channel, on the link that they provided, but I believe I learned with Moogly, Tamara with Moogly.com. Watched her video until I finally got that one. And then another crazy stitch in here. Oh, let's see. So the pattern calls for 1,500 yards of the melange, and I only used 12, and then it says the white yarn should have only taken about 500 yards, but clearly I ended up using a lot more than that. I don't know how. I used the K-hook for the foundation half double crochet, and then I used the I-hook throughout, which is another story. I do have a new hook that I used. Not sure if that played a role in it, but I ended up with the size that it says completed blanket size, 40 inches by 50 inches, 40 inches wide by 50 long, and that's what I came up with. my finish size. So that's why I don't ever swatch anything, because I usually come up pretty good. Now, the stitch tutorials on all of this, there are links in the pattern for stitch tutorials, but I didn't go to any of those. It tells you how to do the knotted half double crochet stitch, which to me is just double yarn for a stitch. And that may be why it used like 1,900 yards in this little blanket. To me, a 40 by 50 is a little blanket. A true blanket covers your body. Or at least a throw, you know, like 4 feet, like 48 by 60 or 65. That's a throw to me. To me, a blanket covers a bed or a baby. So the other stitch was the knotted half double crochet stitch, and that's another new stitch that I learned, and it's not that hard, but like I said, it uses a lot of yarn. To me, it uses a lot of extra yarn because it's almost like doubling your stitch within there. Now, it does have good instructions as far as how to do that, as far as written and a link. I read the written. The last stitch of the row, there's a tutorial, there's instructions on that. And then, like, if you're changing color change instructions, I mean, there's like 3 or 4 pages of just the color change and the different stitch written out, so the instructions, so you could learn that. Now, to me, the changing colors, whether it be before and you have to go in a couple of stitches or not, is kind of a common sense thing to me. But so I kind of figured that out on my own, even though I did follow pretty much what they said to do. And then weaving in yarn ends, that wasn't so bad, other than just where I was changing. And I'll show you my method for changing colors on this thing. I had up to 10 color changes in one row there for about, it also has a pattern chart as well as a graph. So you could easily do this by corner to corner. And that's a good idea too. I think it probably would have been easier on me if I had done a corner to corner. But this one wasn't too bad. Like I say, I learned a couple of new stitches. I used a new hook, which may have been part of the reason I used so much yarn. I'm not sure how this hook had an effect on my stitch, but I'll explain that in a minute as well. So weaving in ends weren't too bad, but you see there are like 14 pages of instructions, and it has not just your small little I'm not going to show the pattern, but it doesn't just have your small pattern. It has like each page broken down in a larger size that is very helpful, and that became helpful to me along the way, so I started using it and crossing them off either way. So let's see if there's anything else in here. But like I said, Laura at Mad Mimi did the Cat's Meow, and then I have the pattern for the Dog Days, which I will show you at another time. I had started actually doing the just a half double crochet instead of that knotted half double crochet, and so I may rip mine out now that I know how to do that and use a different hook. I'm not sure yet. I just have to go back into mine because it's been about a year since I worked on mine. But I will link Sweet Potato 3 pattern for this, as well as website or whatever they have available. So now let me show you the blanket. This thing was 111 stitches by 122 rows, and I wrote down all my time because with it being a commission and her providing the stuff, other than the one extra skein I had to go buy yesterday at Michael's, I think it was $5.99 minus a 20% coupon, something like that, but having to drive to town and back. I'm going to let her know about it, but I'm not as worried about that as I am the other things. Now, I did want to tell you, well, I'll show you the blanket in a minute. Okay, so what I did was, during the color changes, I had started out using like little yarn balls and these things to clip them down to keep the balls from going crazy while they were in the thing. Well, that seemed to be a problem because it just wasn't working properly for me. It didn't work efficiently for me. The balls kept getting twined in like this and everything. So what I did was what I normally do for a corner to corner. I don't carry my yarn on something like this because I don't have good luck with carrying the yarn without it being seen. So what I do is, after about, let's see, where's my notes? After about row 25, I redid all of my ball, and I tried to keep the cakes connected to them, tried to keep the skeins connected to them. That wasn't working. Then I did the little ball thing I was talking about, just like this size balls, and clamping them down. That didn't work for me. So on row 25, I just stopped and redid. No, I didn't. Row 25 is when I went from the skeins to the balls. Then, after I got down here, I worked on it 2 or 3 days before I got down here. After I got down here, I changed over to my own little bobbins. Now, I don't buy bobbins, never have. I just use a cardboard box, and I cut out just squares or little rectangles. And then I just cut them into like little hourglass shaped things. But I leave enough here that it's not going to rip. Mine bend. They end up bending every time, but that's because I leave them too thin. And then in the end of it, I cut a little slit so that I can stick the yarn down in there when I'm not using them. Now, I should have done a video while this was going on so you could see how they hang. With these on there, when you pick it up to turn it, these hang, they fall apart, like instead of twisting around each other, you can hold it up like this, and these will just unwrap themselves and go and kind of fall straight down. Now, like I said, some of these rows had up to 10 color changes. This was when I started I started using the chart instead. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm sorry, 8. 8 color changes. But imagine that with all those different balls rolling around, getting tangled up on each other. So you can see I had quite a few of the 6 and up to 8. Still not trying to give away the pattern or anything. 6 up to 8 different color changes. So it was very helpful to have, and this is one of those that still have some yarn on it. So I just wrap it around like that. And I think I learned this from, I really don't remember, but I started doing it with not my grease blanket that I did, but I think one of Terry Yarn Joy podcast different seasonal squares that she did. And she may be the one that said to do that. I'm not sure. I don't remember where I got this from. But that's when I started using it, was when I was doing the little corner to corners of Terry's seasonal things. Not sure where I learned this from, but it was, and it may have been another one of those common sense things that I was just like, something's got to work better than this other thing. Especially when I was doing the grease corner to corner, and it had 8 to 10 changes per row. So when you hold it up, like I said, it kind of falls naturally. And it's very helpful. So I just, like I said, I just cut these in 2. Whatever size box I have. This was just the flap off of a cardboard box that I used. And I made myself 8 of them because that's how many color changes I had. Or I made them as I needed them. And then I try not to wrap them on here too big. But if I know I'm going to use a color for a very long time, I will. I'll just stack it up at least to the edges like this, because if you wind it beyond this, it starts sliding off the end, and that creates its own problem. So yeah, there's my own little handmade bobbins. I think I've seen videos or people that have done free bobbins that you can print out, make yourself if you want them really cute and fancy and stuff. But I'm just using what I got. So there's that. That's my homemade bobbins right there. And the other thing that I want to talk to you about before I show you that was a new hook I got, and I made the mistake of starting this project with this hook. Therefore, when I got in the middle of it, I didn't want to change it, afraid it was going to change my tension and everything. Now, I'm going to have to look to see what the formal name of the official name of this hook is, so give me 1 second. Okay, so I got this new hook. I had been wanting one, but I had heard different things about it. Come on, say hello. Come on, get up here. There we go. Hey, girl, hey. My sweet girl. Oh, except she scratches me so bad. Her nails are so ragged. So after we get back home next week, when we have another off day, back up. After we have an off day, she's got to go in for a bath and get her nails did. Because she tears me up with those nails. What are you doing? Okay, lay down. Okay, so I got this Furls. It is a Furls limited edition Streamline metal hook. This is an eye. I don't think you can see it for the... It's an eye. And I know once I do this, I'm not going to be able to go back to it. It's an eye 5.5 millimeter, which is the size I used for this thing. Now... It's a nice hook. It is a nice hook. That thing felt like I was crocheting with a crowbar. No, maybe a screwdriver. Now, it is a nice hook. I have heard what the people say about that sound it makes. It's like a mesmerizing sound that it makes when you crochet with it. It is a nice hook. I'm not gonna deny that. To me, the color is pistachio, but I consider it peridot because that's my birthstone. Now, my thing is I apparently grip a hook up closer to a neck than this. My hand is too small for this hook, really. So I caught myself, I've talked before about the motion of your stitch, right? So with this thing, I was going in, out, with my hook and everything, doing it like this, when my normal motion is more like this, right? I'm a knifer, I'm a stabber, not a pencil gripper, although I don't know that would be any different because, like I said, my thing is this kept sliding this way because my hand is short. I kept ending up with it up here when I needed it, when the comfort of holding it is like this. So my stroke of my stitch was very long compared to what I normally do. Don't know if that, I'm sure that had something to do with my tension. But it is a nice hook. I have always wondered how nice they were. Now, this having the sharper edges like this, to me, got caught in that Care and Simply Soft. It did really well with the melange, but it got caught in that one or two strands of the Care and Simply Soft more than I cared to have happen. That slowed me down as well. But it is a nice hook. I got it on sale, it wasn't on sale, but I had a discount of some sort. Now, I am going to try their resin hooks to see if I like them any better. Also, it's very heavy. And when I would drop it, I usually keep a blanket up under me on both sides so that anything I drop gets caught in the blanket instead of hitting the floor in the recliner. But this one, when you drop it or when you lay it down in your project, it's so heavy it slides out of your stitch and just as far as it will go. So I like it. It is a nice hook, but it's not for me. I'm going to keep this one just because it's the only one I'll probably ever buy. as far as the metal goes. Now, I would love to have the grape one just because it's pretty and it's purple, but I don't think I would ever use it. So I'm going to try one of their resins. So I have a link for them that would give me a discount. No, it gives you a discount and gives me points toward earning more. So if you want to try a Furls, go online. It saves you some money. And order one yourself and see what you think about it. Or if you're a Furls lover and need another one anyway, just go ahead and use my link and save you some money anyway. I believe that's how it works. So yeah, I tried the Furls. It's not for me. But like I said, I'm going to try the resin and see what it's like. I usually don't care for the resin, especially working with acrylic, because it creates static to me. And it drags. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to try another one. So, like I said, I wanted to change hooks so many times during this project. But I didn't, because I was afraid with me doing my stitches the way I was afraid it was going to make the rest of the blanket halfway undone. Or a whole different size or something. So, I think that's all the things I did enjoy. So that's my review on the pattern, which the pattern was great. The kit was short. And I feel like, well, I used less than what was recommended or required on the melange, but then I used more of the white. So I'm not sure how that happened, if my tension was off. It should have been both short, it should have been both used too much or both used too little. But that's a Furls. Like I say, I will have a link below if you decide you want to try one and get me some points so I can buy me one of those, one of the resin ones. And there's that. Okay, so now for the reveal of the blanket. I have worked 47, it took me 47 hours and 20 minutes to finish this blanket. Again, I think that's because it's like doing a half double crochet per stitch. Excuse my shoulders falling off there. And 47 hours, 20 minutes. 13,542 stitches. And that many stitches with this, it's still not for me. It just wasn't a comfortable, it just wasn't comfortable. So that's all. It's a great hook. Not knocking the hook at all. The hook itself gets a 10 out of 10. My use of it, 6. I just didn't like the way it grabbed the Karen like it did, and I had to just go back to several hundred times. So, okay, here it is. Get up and see what I can do. If I can get dog out from under my feet. So this is the finished blanket. Let me get it the top up. And it's pretty soft. I'm not going to wash it. I'm not going to block it or anything. If she wants to do that for her son, I'm seeing a couple of edges I need to take out. For the most part of the weaving in, I could actually cover it up with another row. But here it is. I don't know how far back I'm going to have to go for you to see it all. But isn't it beautiful? I only had 2 mess ups during the whole thing, but nobody will ever know it but me. So how do you like it? Isn't it beautiful? Not the legs up under it. But anyway, so yeah, most of the, so there's the color up front. Now, you can tell with this knotted half double crochet, I have some pretty good uniform stitches. I always have. I was looking at something I made the other day, and my stitches are so uniform. It's awesome. I love being able to do it that way. But I love the melange. And I've always loved that melange roll with it. Roll with it the red heart. And it's pretty soft. This is actually straight. I don't know. I guess it's the way I'm holding it. Just a closure up shot of it. Not sure how far up I need to go. I can't see through it at this point. There's the top of it. So there's that. So that's my finished blanket that I've done, and my semi-review of the kit. And anyway, so I guess that's all for this moment. I am going to try to, I've got a couple of other things I want to show you, but they're nothing major. I wanted to show you that because I did need to get it in the mail today, or I may leave it with Renee to take over to the lady in Bainbridge, because that's where Renee works, which is originally where she lived over there in Bainbridge, Georgia. So I hope y'all are having a good week. It is getting better here. Things are looking up, and could still use the prayers for my daughter as well as the rest of us, and that we get through all the things. And I appreciate y'all watching. Please like, subscribe, share, all the things, YouTube. She is also, Renee's also trying to do some TikTok, and I'm going to list her, whatever it's called, on the Facebook group, Cindy Hart's Crochet Podcast Facebook group. I would appreciate it if you would put your pretty projects over there. I haven't seen anybody posted but me in a while, so that's getting boring. But I love seeing everybody's projects. What are you working on right now? And what are your plans to work on for the next few weeks? I don't really know. I've got a shawl, I've got a scarf in the works. I am trying to work on the name that tune. What's in a Name, hosted by Laura with Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming. I didn't get in for October, but I am going to try to get in for November, because I have a couple of things in mind for that. But anyway, I will see y'all soon again, and I'm down here until tomorrow, then go back to work Saturday, and we'll see what we can get going by then. Alrighty, love y'all, have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Love you, bye.